Okay, so I have been sitting on this for a couple of weeks now, probably months now. It's gotten to a point where it's consuming my mind 24/7. Um, would I be a good? You're right. Would I be a good um MSP? Now I say MSP and not MP because one, I believe in independent Scotland, and and two, I do not want to be part of Westminster. I feel like that is a bit too much, and I feel like I'd get more say if I was in Scottish Parliament. But yeah, pardon me. So my question is, would I be good? Because there's a few things that I would change. First of all, I wouldn't be one of your. I'm not your regular kind of MSP. I'm different. I would like first things first. I'd build my campaign on actually listening to people, and I think that sounds like a cliche, right? Because people are like, oh yeah, they say they're listening to people, but all they're really taking is like a freaking email. Not only will I be taking emails, but every week I will have like a surgery, meaning that I would like have village hall, and then I'd be like, everyone come in and ask me questions, and I'll answer it to my best of my abilities, and I'd be like, yeah. And then people have questions and concerns. And if I couldn't answer them right there and then, I'd be like, okay, I'll get back to you on that, and I promise you that. And if I don't, send me an email like I don't know, 3 days, I guess. And I feel like that's what is missing from people in and MSPs is that they say that they are listening to people, but all they're really doing is being like, yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll address it. But then, no, you won't. Because you'll give me the same cookie cutter bullshit that you give everybody else. You go, we appreciate concern, and this is what we say, this is what the person said, and that's the issue solved. Like, no, right, so, Willie Redding, local MSP, he's not a right guy, okay? As much as I don't like the Lib Dems policies, he's okay. I don't really care. He hasn't really done anything to make me feel like vitriol, hatred, spite. Like me and him would get along if we obviously talked and more and stuff. But my issue is that I'm. People say, oh, he listens to the community, but I really don't think he does. Like, he doesn't actively engage with communities. The only thing he does is like say, "Oh, I'm fighting for the post office," which is great. Don't get me wrong, but like, the amount of times I've emailed him regarding sexual health services in East Fife, I messaged him and be like, "Look, this is getting ridiculous. Like, to be able to access something health wise, a young person's clinic is 14 miles away. That's fucking ridiculous." And he goes, I forwarded your email on to the NHS 5 health board leader. And I was like, well, that doesn't fucking help because that's not what I fucking asked. So yeah, I was upset by that. And then, the NHS person came back and said, we're very proud to have St Andrews Community Hospital have sexual health services. It's like, yeah, but it's only open like 1 day a week for 4 hours. What, like, that's not enough. Like, I know fucking East Fife is a little bit sparse, but doesn't mean that nobody lives here. There's a whole reason why it's its own fucking constituency. It's because it got enough got enough population. Okay, but yeah, that's one thing I would do. And second thing I would do is that if I do, God forbid, if I ever become first minister, that would be fucking weird. But first things first, I'll be like, okay, first day in office, first thing I say is like, look, We're all different parties, right? I will not budge on like the main policies. Anything that's listed in my manifesto, I will fight tooth and nail to get done, right? But anything else that like I think would be good, I'd actively work with like other parties to help. Like if they raise a concern about like I don't know the NHS, and they're like, we need you guys to like help us, and they're like, yeah, sure, as long as it's sensible, then and we believe it works, then yeah, we'll help you. I don't believe in this. Oh, because you're a different party, will vote against you. Like, no, that's stupid. Like, don't be silly, right? Okay, that's what the Conservatives did for SMPs on the basis that they just believe in independence, refusing to work together. That's fucking stupid. Don't do that. Because all you're doing is being the voice of opposition, which, yes, that is your job, but it's also like you're not exactly doing anything helpful. Because even if we had like one of the best bills getting passed in Parliament and it happened to be ran by the SNP or God forbid anybody else, and the Conservatives were like, no, because we hate you. We're not gonna let the world be a better place because simply because you are in power. It's like don't be like that. Absolutely not. If I run as MSP, you can quote me on this. You can come back to me in the future. If I this is a big if. I don't even know if I even want to do this. If I become MSP and I don't do that, God fucking remind me, please. Oh my God, point me back to this video and let me watch it. Be like, okay, yeah, right. And then I would, I think that's the main point though, is that obviously like nothing's gonna get done if the locals aren't gonna do anything, right? It's not just gonna be like the 100 odd RSPs in Scotland are going to be holding all the power. I don't think we should do that. I think we should do local communities. Um, yeah, I recently attended a talk thing in the University of St Andrews because they were taught it was like a sustainability thing, and the Green Party wanted, well, the Scottish Greens wanted somebody to go, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. So I went, and listening to the five people talk about the main things, which was that in regards to sustainability, there's nothing that's going to get done if the locals don't really know. And the problem is that one, sustainability is inaccessible for a lot of people because of time constraints and stuff, but also because the government keeps using non-inclusive language and very sort of professional office cookie cutter, like ChatGPT wrote it for like a professional email kind of thing, but they should be like simpling it down for people who understand, people who aren't in fucking politics, people who haven't had the time to go through all these definitions. And they also need to stop making it so technological because not everyone is online. Like, I will say it is like Scotland has an aging population. So, what makes you think those people who, by the way, hold most of the voting power in Scotland are going to vote if, we don't have any, like, um, if they, like, have no idea what we're voting. And that's what the problem is, that if the older people are voting Conservatives, it's because that's all they remember from the younger days, being like, oh, we'll save money. And that was the only concern back then. But now there's more concerns, like, regarding sustainability, but nobody knows about that because everybody's got, their own fucking confirmation bias and stuff. So, and if people would came up to me if I was canvassing and said, I don't like you, I'm gonna vote Conservatives, and if I'm a Green Party, and I'd be like, okay, that's fine. If I do get into power, however, I'd still like to represent you though. So what is an issue that you like? What is an issue that you care about? And then I'd listen to them and I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll help you. And I know people who turn around and be like, it's not that simple. Budget, budgets and all that. It's like, well, you can at least try. Like, if you're going to be an MSP for a local area, that's your job. You're representing the local area, not just your voters. And obviously, if you have your own sort of like manifesto and things you stick forth, like obviously the majority will want that, but like have some decorum. Just like communicate with people that don't vote for you. Just you still represent them. If they have a concern, listen to them, and if you believe that there's something wrong there, then tell them. Like again, worst case scenario, I become MSP because somebody's got to fucking do it at this point. So here's a scenario: Reform UK voter says, "I don't want to vote for you because I believe that immigration is a big issue." That's not their fault. I know this would sound weird coming from me, but Reform UK voters are only upset about my immigration because of misinformation. Nobody is like that evil. Nobody's saying, "Oh, I really hate people like that." Like, I'll say it, fucking colored people. Like, nobody's saying that. Well, they are saying it, but there's not like that's not the problem. The problem is that people have been raised like that, and then you know the people in power are like, yes, keep going, keep going, keep going. Hate them, hate them. So I'd be like, okay, what is it about immigration that you don't like? And they'd be like, oh, the foreigners like stealing our jobs and stuff. And it's like, okay, fair enough. Um, that's not true though. And I'd say, look, like we have the lowest immigration in Europe. Nobody's coming here. And if they are coming here, it's because they have family here. Germany has the highest immigration by like a long shot. Um, so, and regarding the jobs thing, the only reason why jobs are being taken by immigrants is because, well, first of all, there's barely any jobs to begin with, but the jobs that are being taken are care-based jobs. So, care assistants is like many people are looking for them, and a lot of people don't like. A lot of nationals don't want to take it, is because it's low pay for very high effort. But immigrants, they're just happy, you know, getting a job, because a lot of them they're escaping like a really shit country. Like for example, all the I don't know where the fuck these people come. Where are they coming from? I don't know. I don't know where the immigrants are coming from. Maybe like Iran, Iraq. But I would say that that country is pretty shit, right? I don't. Yeah, it's like it's been ran by a fucking a zealous fucking overlord, fucking nepo baby, whatever. And I don't want to fucking yeah. I mean, I don't like the fact that Trump's invading them, but like I don't like either of them, but it's fine. Anyways, I would say, look, they're not taking all your jobs. They're just getting the jobs that we don't want, right? Because obviously the cost of living is too high, right? Second, you need to blame multiple things. For example, the reason why it's so expensive for companies now is because of the rising costs. So first things first, oil. Okay, And this is probably when the person's gonna roll their eyes because, of course, the freaking Green Party person is gonna be talking about oil, but it's true. If our oil prices are gonna be controlled by the global market, I don't I like, there's nothing you could do. You can have so much fucking oil that is, like, pouring out the earth, like, the earth is about to bulge open because of fucking there's so much oil. That's still not gonna happen because these oil companies are still gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna set this price to that," and then you're gonna fucking suffer. So I was like, be like, "Okay." So that's one factor. Second factor is energy costs, non-oil. Scotland produces all the renewable electricity, but we pay what London should be paying essentially. Um, and London doesn't get like all that cost. Um, so what we do is we'll control our own energy markets, which means obviously independence, whatever. And then, so that's two reasons. And then, um, I'm not sure. Do definitely tax the billionaires. That's one thing, yeah, because then there'd be more money to fund stuff, and it would be less costly. I would not know what would possess an employee, like an employer, to stop employing people because it's too expensive to hire people. I don't think that's the case for like big companies. Just because you're not making as much money as you used to doesn't mean everybody else has to suffer. That's pretty much it. Simple as that.